Well, welcome back, everybody. I am so excited to have Varsha Pasel here. She is a realtor, an executive leadership coach, and the host of Life in Conversation podcast. What caught me from her bio was this statement. She writes that her belief is that your environment shapes who you're becoming. Oh, Varsha, there's so much there for us to dive in. Welcome to the High Vibes podcast. I'm Binu, your host. My goal with every episode is to leave you feeling better, shining your light a little bit brighter than before you press play. Let's dive in.
Hi, Binu. Oh my gosh. I love that introduction so much. It just gets to the root and the heart of what we believe. I think even in different industries that we work in, there's that commonality, right?
Yeah. And I was actually really surprised reading your bio when you were talking about becoming and that your belief that even in the work you're doing, you are helping people step into the next level version of them.
Yeah.
So talk to me about like that.
Absolutely. And look, it's taken me some time to get here, okay? Because my industry, so when I'm speaking of just real estate in general, I came into real estate 7 years ago after leaving like your public sector government job of 16 years, very confidential work, right? And so stepping into real estate, the instant reaction was to be like, oh, I help people buy and sell homes.
Yes.
Which I still do. Like that at the core is what we do. However, in 7 years in, like that isn't enough for me to move the needle in my industry. It's, I had to learn a bunch of skills and I'm finding this common thread of pain of what people are feeling. And sometimes when someone calls and says, hey, I think I need to move, right? What is that force behind that? It's not always more square footage. It's also, I'm becoming someone different and my environment needs to meet me where I'm going.
Oh my gosh. Why did I ever think that any other industry would be any different?
Right.
Because as coach, and now you're a coach as well, it's like we see this. So I actually just didn't even think about this in the real estate world. So isn't it true? Because every time I've moved, there's been a life transition, or it's either more space or less space, or it's just this environment doesn't work for me anymore. And I need to leave now, and I'm already a month behind, right?
Oh my gosh, you just gave me chills. You did. But even like for you to say, it's always been at the midst of a transition, right? And it's very difficult. Most of us are not able to make these changes before the transition's happening. It's usually in the midst of it that we have to make these groundbreaking, life-altering decisions, right? A lot of the times, and even insofar that 2 years ago, I switched brokerages. So I used to be with a different one. And as realtors, we need to be affiliated with a brokerage to practice real estate, right? And so I switched brokerages. And that transition itself for me, I did not account for it. Okay. I thought I would, hey, I parked my business here. It's just an overarching umbrella, right? The business is me. I am the business. I can go wherever and set up shop. But there was a transition period even in that for me, so much so that my brand, like at that point when I had to think for myself, oh, what do I want to be known for now in this stage of real estate? And it was all about life transitions. So much so that the writers on my signs say transition with trust. Like,
wow,
I'm there to help people through the messy transition.
And you just stepped into something here of really how we met.
Yeah.
Right. And really what I love bringing to this podcast conversation all the time is us as women behind. And I'm actually just having chills because I'm having all these memories of all the signs and synchronicities that we had. Yeah. But that word trust, because when you started your podcast, it was called Trust
Collective.
Wasn't it?
It was called Trust Collective. Absolutely. And now everyone says things like, hey, we're in a trust recession and that kind of stuff. And it's kind of taken that whole buzzword bit to it. But if we peel all of it back, what is that human like core value? Like, what is it that we seek, right, as humans? And that's where I'm trying to peel it back. Even in my world of real estate, it's like, hey, we need belonging. We're looking for support and stability through a moment of change because we know all of us are subject to change and transition. None of us is making it out without that discomfort, And so, and that's where that stems from. It's like, okay, we need trust, we need value, like we need belonging. And that's what we're trying to find as humans.
But like trust, so belonging to me is having that sense of belonging amongst other people, but also it's like the trust within yourself. Because as you're talking about how you help your client or that person who's just reached out to you go from transition to trust, it's an inward game.
It's inward. Yeah,
right?
It is inward. And that has come much later to me in life. And maybe that was, it's only now in my 40s, Binu, that I have the time to be a little more reflective. And it's also being a mother and raising children. I know every generation goes through this. Okay. I'm just trying to do something a little bit different. Maybe not some of the weight that I'm carrying. Maybe it translates differently to my kids. And that self-trust, because, hey, I'm leading 2 boys at home and put these individuals out in the world. Like, what am I producing for the world here? And it's not all on me, but, my husband and I share that. Self-trust came to me much later. Some of that is cultural conditioning for me, which is why I was so drawn to you, Binu, as a fellow South Asian woman. There needs to be more women speaking the way we speak, showing up in the way we look, embracing our cultures, yes, and this whole new rhetoric of, hey, this is what it looks like to be a multi-passionate woman running several businesses or any business, raising families and showing up in the modern world. We need to see more of that.
Yeah. And you've touched something that we've talked about a few times, but we've never had this opportunity like this to really go deeper. And maybe this is the call today. But the first thing I want to note is what you just said about, what you're putting out in the world through your children. I just want the listeners to take that in. We are the role models to our children. And I didn't get that lesson until my early 40s. So I do think there's something here that we have to go through our 20s to discover who we are. At least this was my path. Our 30s having children. And then we get a little bit of like relief when they're not hanging on to us. And we literally have moments that we can go inward. Yeah. I think that's like, I want to make it earlier. I want my daughter in her 20s to get this earlier, but I don't know if that's possible. So that's really hit me.
Thank you for that. I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that. A lot of my 20s were not spent in discovery of myself. So I feel like I'm spending that right now, which is where that self-trust was just, I outsourced a lot of my self-trust and decision-making outside of myself.
Yeah.
And some of that did start at home, Binu, because some of those decisions that my mom made was driven from my father at home.
Yes.
Do you know? And I mean, that's a whole other conversation, but there's a lot of love and learning there for me. So it came to me very late in life to say, oh, Varsha, because you're a mother, and it took motherhood for me to actually develop this sense of true inner leadership and self-trust. And it was, hey, is this what you believe? Is this what you want to pass on? Right. And so that whole self-trust, that whole discovery, it just bleeds into everything that I do at this point, whether it's coaching people through finding home, figuring out a neighborhood, figuring out where their kids are going to go to school, because that shapes who they become, their circle. Like, it's deep,
Oh, this is deep, Varsha.
Because it is. It's our life.
Yeah. I love this conversation, actually. And I really love this idea of this self-discovery because I think, I mean, you and I both have children. I know not everybody does, but I always say to people who have kids, like, it throws you off your rocker. Like, be ready to go through an experience that you couldn't have seen coming, but you actually get to shape it. And it might be a little rocky, but I remember I was saying to my daughter, I said, I don't want to scare you for those early years, but I want to prepare you. Nobody prepared me. Yeah. And we were forced to just I don't know, have a rocky journey until we got a hold of ourselves. I don't know how to say that.
It's the truth, though. There's, and I say this often, and you nailed it. And I say this often. I was like, man, there's no owner's manual for this parenting thing, right? I'm like, how come there's all these books that you do, what to do when you get pregnant or whatever that series of books.
Expect what you're expecting.
Right? All those things when you're expecting, right? And it's like, okay, you try to read that, you try to get prepared, but parenting is so different. And parenting, now you have 3 kids. Each one of them is so different. It's not like God or universe, whoever is like, hey, I'm going to give you 2 of the same.
No, I think they give us multiple. And then you add the girl factor and the boy factor.
So true.
It's a whole different story.
It is a whole other
But
ballgame.
it's like I say all the time, I do believe this now. Our kids are our biggest teachers.
Oh, yes.
And I've said it enough to my children that now it's this joke. So when they do say something wise, because they have wisdom.
They do.
Supposedly after age 11 is when we're supposed to stop telling them what to do and ask them what they think. I wish I learned that earlier.
Oh, thank you for that.
How old are yours?
They're 12 and 15.
Perfect.
They're right on track. So thank you.
It's a revelation when you actually say to them after you've been telling them their whole life. And then you say, so what do you think? Like they don't know what to do. They're kind of like, me?
But also what an important point, especially today where, and like not to go here with the conversation, but like in this world of AI, like what is the thing that we're teaching our kids? And I keep coming back on what we're doing right now is having a conversation, which we're exercising so many skills and interpersonal skills and communication just to do this and be critical thinkers. I think like that question that you ask, what do you think?
Yes.
It employs them to say, oh, I'm not just going to regurgitate an answer that ChatGPT or Claude gave me. Like I have to have context and thought here, right? So
it's actually even more important. And actually it came to me from a spiritual coach of mine. So it was actually a spiritual piece to it. Then when we actually, even if I ask you, what do you think? It actually forces you to go inward and tap into your own divine mind, your own soul's wisdom that is parked in there. And I know the first few times I did this with my kids, especially my son, he was like, I don't know what I think. And I think I started crying thinking, oh my gosh, what have I done? But it started then and we still do it. And I tell you, I see in our world, and again, I even wonder if this is cultural because I never watched anybody ask my mom what she thought.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
And so for us to be able to take this learning and education and just self-discovery and self-trust now that we have for ourselves and bring it to our children and to the next generation. To me, that's the legacy piece here.
Binu.
Okay, so let's talk about culture. Because this is where I want to talk to you about.
All we're doing is getting chills in this conversation.
Goosebumps, God bumps, what do you want to call them.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about culture because this is part of it. Like this is whether it's our children, but how we're raising them, what we saw our moms do or don't do, what we saw our fathers do.
Yeah.
You know, when I first met you, I think it was the second or third time, and you came to that first event and you came up to me and
I did.
choking me up. And I don't remember what you said, but you made a comment to me about me being an Indian woman, a South Asian woman leading this event. And it's never left me, Varsha.
You know,
it's been this little voice. So thank you.
My pleasure. It is my goal to say the things that I feel like that.
Well,
when
thank
I
you
see it.
for doing that. But tell me about this. Like, where did that come from? Where is this sitting for you? Because it's not just South Asians. Like, I have a friend who's from Argentina, and she was talking about, like, I want to bring my culture into my life. So let's talk about this.
You know, there's so much there. Binu, thank you for opening.
Oh my gosh.
First of all, see, a lot of the time, so for just to give you some context, the Varsha here today speaking and like being able to carry this, I could never have probably done this 5, 7, 10 years ago. Okay. And even before that, like, so my parents had immigrated out of India when they got newly married. So they'd moved to the Middle East because that's what you do, I suppose. Like when you are raised in India back then in the 70s and 80s, it's like you left India for opportunity. You didn't stay. All the good jobs you left, right? So they went to the Middle East, settled down there. And then as per custom, when the wife is pregnant, she goes back to the mother's house, delivers the baby. It's just, the mother needs extra care at that point, right? So my mom did that. So I was born in India, but then immediately after, come back to the Middle East. So I was raised in the Middle East, but I was fully schooled here in Canada. Okay.
Oh, interesting.
So, and I moved here at the age of 12. So it's interesting to me that it's like, I carry all of these identities within me. We all do, right? I carry the identity of the girl she never lived in India, but I was raised in a fully Orthodox South Asian household. The cultural, the values, like the woman that pretty much, and not to say, like my mother is one of the strongest women I know. She's a trailblazer in her own right. Learning to drive in the Middle East as a woman was a big deal back then.
Wow.
she did that. She would take us to all our activities, right? And then even coming into the workforce, which was different for her as an Indian woman back then, who was probably more so, to be traditional, take care of the kids and do all of that, right? So culturally, today, stepping into this role 7 years ago for me, going from a stable job, which is what every parent wants their kid to have, is stability. I was on that path, 16 years into the government, moving up the ranks, getting into senior leadership, having a pension at the end of that, having healthcare and benefits, right? All of this stable things. The dream. You go to university, you study, go to university, you get married, you have children, you have the job, that's the dream.
Yeah.
So 7 years ago, as life happens, transition happens, I made a decision to leave that and do this. And I find there's a void in my real estate community. There's a glaring gap, okay? The gap is not limited to just women and men, which exists in this industry here. It's also within that, the women who have cultural conditioning that they have to sort of drop to step into, leading themselves in a sales space or in a space where you have to learn to talk to people, but you carry all of this baggage with you everywhere you go and you don't even know. It comes with you everywhere you go. And some people don't have that, but I believe we do. I know I did. I still do.
And it's interesting, Varsha, because my experience was a little bit different in terms of I was born and raised in Thunder Bay, Ontario. But Thunder Bay, but same thing. I was raised in an Indian household.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We had all Indian friends.
Yeah.
We went to all the Indian functions.
Yeah.
We wore all the clothes. We did all the celebrations, which is very different since I married my husband, who is Indian, but wasn't very involved in the culture. And then moving to Oakville from a small town, it wasn't as accessible.
Yeah.
And I should be careful saying that because it wasn't accessible, but I also didn't go seeking it. Something happened.
Yes.
Where when we got married and we had kids and came to Oakville, I almost reverted. I almost went, I don't want to show my culture. I'm actually just diving into this right now. You're welcome to coach me and use your skills if you want. And it's coming to me, it's what is happening? But I remember thinking, we actually went to the Gurdwara, the temple here, and we were like, well, we're both the same. We come from the same religion. Yeah. We weren't very religious. Yeah. But I said to him, I want my kids to know what to do when we go into the Gurdwara. Yeah. And then we went to the Oakville Gurdwara, and it was interesting. We felt different. So there's this sound, you've heard this saying, it's sayings are terrible, like the Oreo cookie. White, have you heard this? White on the inside, brown on the outside.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. I've heard
people
coconut.
Who are not,
I've
coconut.
Heard coconut.
Okay. Same idea. So I felt like that. I felt like the Indian woman raised and in Thunder Bay as a Canadian with a little bit of culture. Yeah. And the Gurdwara was, I swear it was all people I felt that literally just arrived from India. So big gap.
Wow.
So Rob and I we didn't align. We went a couple times and he just said I don't want to come here. This is not the vibe I was looking for. Yeah. So we decided to teach our kids on our own. You'd get invited to a wedding, teach them what to do. Same idea. And so we use these weddings and other functions to teach them what to do. But the only thing we really kept alive was the clothing. Right? We'd go to somebody's function and put the outfit on. And so my kids have grown up with that. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And then somewhere along the line, I remember my mom stopping to make Indian food. We had a lot more North American food. Yeah. It's interesting.
It's so interesting.
And then now it's we're trying to bring it all back.
I'm clawing my way back. Yeah. Oh, that is so, thank you for sharing that. Hey, because I needed to hear that perspective. And I love when you said we made a decision that didn't feel right to us. How fabulous for you to know that and to be so aware, Binu.
Yeah, but we were judged a little bit. Part of it, when you make a decision where everybody else is teaching their kids something and you're saying, no, I'm not going to. Yeah. I felt a bit judged. I felt different, but you probably know this about yourself. We are different. I realize I am the trailblazer. You are the trailblazer. Yeah. No one's going to tell me what to do. I'm going to make that decision on my own. So that tells me why we're here, doing what we're doing. Even the fact that we have our own podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, there was just this calling.
Like we're different.
Like there's a voice that has to come out.
Yeah.
There's lessons that have to be shared because it is in us to be shared, because that's what we do as humans.
And so I don't see, and I know there's lots of cultures, so people listening, maybe in your culture, take this in.
Yeah.
But I was saying to Varsha earlier, it's like, I don't see a lot of Indian women, South Asian women hosting podcasts. So if you're listening to this and you are one, please let us know.
Oh,
please let us, like, we want to start this other little side club over here.
That'd be fun. Oh,
right?
Binu. Yes.
But I want to inspire other women that grew up like me, which, I was encouraged to go to university. I was encouraged to do post-secondary, which I did.
Yeah.
But then I wasn't encouraged. I don't think my dad said anything or didn't say anything. It was almost like that unspoken expectation. Well, go. It's so fun. Go get all your degrees. But then you're just going to stay home with your kids. Oh. Where my brothers were highly encouraged.
Is that right?
To get jobs. Like it was the unspoken.
See, I don't have brothers. I only have a sister. And I always think of how unique our household was that, like I said, my mom, so strong, learning to drive in a country where a lot of people, like women, just didn't do that, right? But also, it was never the conversation at home that was, you get married and have children. That never came from my parents, which feels so modern to say.
Interesting.
Feels so modern. I know, but I don't even understand like the South Asian women of today. And I'm not trying to be negative, but I experienced something different, especially so it all just came to fruition when I ended up marrying someone outside of my culture, right? That was a huge learning for me. That was a huge, right? And so there's people openly doing that now and sharing their journey, and everybody's so accepting. And I'm like, how is this your reality? Like, what? That was not my reality.
No. And actually when I was a teenager, one of my oldest cousins was the first one to marry outside the culture.
See, when you say the first one, it's like, I get that.
Were you the first one?
I'm the first one.
Wow. Yeah, you're the leader of the pack, almost like.
In my immediate family unit, yes. And especially, I mean, like someone who is not the same skin tone. Forget different culture. Yeah. Like there are people, in the lineage that have probably married other South Asians just from different beliefs.
Right.
But like to not even marry a South Asian. And, the conversation, and I've carried it like some big loss.
Oh, interesting.
I have, Binu, for a long time, right? But we don't have to go all in there.
But it's like you're saying, like the things that you carry with you, that's another piece to the puzzle. Yeah. But here you are now, okay? So fast forward to here as the South Asian woman with all these things that have been part of your journey.
Yeah.
What is your wish for other women in the real estate area or the coaching world? What is your wish? Like what's your wish to pass on to them right now?
That they just believe in themselves. That if there's something that keeps coming up and they're trying to quell that, like stop doing that to yourself. Don't discount your experiences. They are actually your biggest gifts to share. I do believe that inherently now. For a long time, it was, but why would anybody listen to what I had to say? And I still believe, like, trust me, I still think that often because I'm a lifelong
We have a
student.
Human brain. We have a human sneaky subconscious brain.
Yes, right? And I'm learning more about that because of voices like you, Binu, that I can relate to. It's important for people or for girls, for women to not only, see themselves represented by someone's story, but it matters for us. South Asian representation, like those things matter to me, And that's why I was so attracted to what you were putting out on Instagram. And I was like, so much so that I'm like, oh, Binu just filtered into my universe, saw her from afar. Oh, she's hosting this event. I'm going to buy a ticket to that event and I'm going to get into the rooms. And that's because you put yourself out there. So I'd say women, my wish for women in general is to just don't quell that desire. If something comes up, share it. You have inherent worth regardless of what you end up achieving.
Yeah. And this to me is like self-leadership.
Yes.
Right. And so like, that's my wish too, is actually to have more South Asian women, ethnic women, cultural women step into it. Because I remember having this one thought of, well, who's going to listen to me? I mean, I don't know. I've always had this, like, if you don't look in a mirror, and this is interesting thing that's coming forward. I think I just look like everybody else. Like I forget that I have a different skin tone until I see a picture.
Yeah.
And I think it still happens when I take pictures with friends or whatever. And it's like I forget that I'm the only one with the darker skin tone.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bother me, affect me. No. But it's like you said, we take it with us. And it's been that thing over the years of, can I do this? Because there's no other Indian woman on stage. Can I do this? Because there's no other Indian woman that has a podcast. Yeah. Thank you for coming into my world. And I love the whole Instagram factor of like, I showed up, and this is my reminder to all women, especially those of us in our 40s, 50s, and 60s. Like you're afraid to show up. You're afraid to be seen. But if I didn't do what I did that time, it's going to make me cry. You and I wouldn't be besties.
It's so true.
Varsha. And I want everybody to know, like, I am signs and synchronicities junkie. Like Varsha comes into my life, think, oh, she's so nice. I love that she's here. And I just love her energy. And then I see her interview her sister I need to hold your hand, on your podcast. I think it was one of your first episodes. Yeah. And her name is Veena, spelled the same way as my mom. Yeah. And I was like, what is happening? So for those listening, it's like these signs, like we can't make this shit up, right? No. So you were meant to come in. I was meant to come in for whatever reason. And I love that we love on each other. I love that we celebrate each other. Yeah. That's the vibe I want to continue out there.
And that is the vibe that I am so attracted to. So thank you. Thank you for putting that out there for us, Binu.
And I think what you've really brought today, Varsha, is this idea that we get to be fully expressed. All parts of us. And you just brought up that Indian part, that South Asian part, that cultural part. I haven't really fully brought forward a little bit, dripping here with my outfits. And I told you this in person, but I want to say this on the podcast. I had a photo shoot coming up that I had, and I happened to come across your photo shoot, and you had your full Indian outfit on. And something sparked me, and I was like, I want to do that. I want to do that. However, I'd already planned the outfits and I only had so much time. So I brought my jewelry. I brought like my whole pack of Indian jewelry and I put a piece, it's just like you have them on now. I had earrings on with like my black vest and my jeans.
So good.
I put my wedding necklace on with another outfit.
Oh, how meaningful.
And I loved it. So thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. And what is it to be Indian without having jewelry on? Like, I don't even,
like what good is the jewelry sitting in?
I know.
Well, I can't tell you where mine is. It's like hidden.
I know. We can't go there. But my mother will laugh because for so much of my 20s and even my 30s, I was like, no, that's so heavy. I don't want that. I'm not wearing that. And now it's like, okay, Mom, what else do you have that's super glittery? I'll take it.
Yeah. And what's fun about my like having daughters right now, we're in wedding season. So my age group, our friends, first children are just getting married.
Goodness.
So we have June is like all weddings. So watch out, Instagram.
I can't wait.
You are inspiring me.
I'm so
to share a side of me I haven't shared enough of.
I'm so excited to watch this.
Yeah.
And it's really such a return to self. It feels good.
It does.
Right? It feels good because that's what you believe. That's
feels
your authentic
whole.
Expression.
Yeah. Yes. It's that part of us. And I have a friend who's like a spiritual teacher. She always says this. There's parts of us that we've never shown. And now to be fully expressed, we have to show those pieces. Yeah. So that's my 50s for me is like, ooh, Varsha just reminded me of that piece. I'm going to show that. Or someone else is going to remind me of like my humor. Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm going to show more of that.
Yeah. And one of the things that you do so well, Binu, and that gives me permission, because a lot of my life has just been seeking permission, which I'm unlearning a bit. You use the language. You use the words like, hey, universe, hey, manifestation, hey, but you have the science behind it. Like you have the action items that go with it. It's not just fluff, right? And that is really important as well, because you know the work so deeply that it now just flows through you. It comes across in such a deep, authentic way. So you use the language in such a good way. And I needed to hear that from you.
Thank you. Okay, so what's coming for Varsha? I was going to ask, what's coming? What can we expect?
A little bit of, I'm in very much I went through the rebrand, right, last year, just finally, I've moved brokerages. So, and it's a brand that I'm so honored to even have, like to be partnered with another fellow South Asian woman who actually did my brand from Oakville.
Nice.
to do it in such a way that it has such deep color, and my website, like everything feels like an extension of me. And so now I feel much more aligned in building my business. So I am going deeper in, I love the work that I do in real estate because it's contract heavy, it's protection heavy. Again, protection is a deep value system for me. I'm excited for a little more creativity. So that's where this podcast has come from. So I really do want to go a little deeper with the podcast, have more conversations. So stay tuned, Binu, you will be on it. Naturally.
And what's the name?
Life in Conversation.
Oh, I love that.
Because that's what this is.
That's what this is.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And other than that, honestly, I just quite enjoy just capturing, like the art of noticing. You've seen that, right? Like I just love going into the world and just capturing. And, you know, hopefully this summer I can train my 15-year-old to get on board with the act of creating with me. Would be
love
fun.
it.
That's what's next. I think I'm just going to continue on this path of especially my ICF certification. Get to know myself a little deeper so I can help clients a little bit better and just continue.
I love that. I'm so excited you're doing that. I was saying to you before we hit record that I think everybody could use a coaching program or two. I think it's life-changing.
You're so right.
And we have so many depths about ourselves to discover. Yeah. And then we get to use those tools on other people, on our husbands and our children without them knowing. It's really magical.
But it is magic. And it's so validating. Yeah. To see it in action in the household, to see how literally, Binu, because like this whole coaching is really the art of noticing and asking better questions. Yes. Right? Because that's how you're helping someone move forward, is just by asking a question. And it is so interesting to me to watch the way in which this is unfolded, even within my husband in our household. I love that you said that. Because before he's going to react or respond, there's a filtration that's happening now. Yeah. Hey, and it's transferring. It's the filter is transferring. Like I see it happen within them. So it's a fun experiment.
It's amazing. Okay. So where can everybody find you?
My website, varshapasel.com, or Instagram at varsha.pasel.
I love it. Varsha, thank you so much for being here. I am so excited to build on this relationship.
I'm so pumped. I am too. Thank you so much. Honestly, truly an honor, and keep shining. I love watching you.
Thanks, hon. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you listening. If this episode resonated with you and you wish to speed up your growth, feel free to check out my programs and services. Just go to my website, binu.ca. And if you know someone else who is seeking more meaning in life and could use some inspiration and high vibes along the way, please pass them on to me. It would mean the world. And it goes a long way if you take a few seconds right now and leave me a 5-star review and share this with your friends. I'll be forever grateful.